Hello and welcome back to another split format commentary video. We're continuing our split format or split standard 5 tournament. This is round 1, the second feature match of round 1. In the front we're going to have Galetta playing Princess Plants, and in the back we're going to have Phaedron playing Shellshock. So I'm going to start off with some information about the players. For Galetta, technically it's galleta, the Spanish word for cookie, but I will be saying Galetta because that rolls off my tongue easier. His past achievements are he got 2nd place in Split Robin 1 with Generation Fish, and 3rd place in Split Robin 2 with a very similar Princess Plant deck to what he's playing today. I believe the only hit, really, after that tournament was they got their Counter Trap Pollinosis limited to 1 copy instead of 3, and they got their Aromaseraphine Jasmine Link Monster banned, but they still have Sylvan Dance Peony as another Link Monster option to combo with. His playstyle he describes as he prefers control decks. He tends to overextend or forget lines with combo decks, so control is much more natural to him, and he loves trying to make jank decks work, which explains why he uses the Ryuge Generation Fish card pool in split format, which for a long time was not considered very good, and it took us a while to figure out how to make it consistently decent and to perform well against other decks. And his current project is he's working on the Goat Control card pool, trying to figure out a warrior build with Gaia the, I think it's Charging Gaia the Fierce Knight, the one that normal summons itself and then searches BLS when it's distributed, and Chaos Greffer, which he added to the format himself. His favorite card in the whole game is Insect Queen and the Retrain Metamorphosed Insect Queen, and his favorite card in split format is Ryuge Warzone, which is in that Generation Fish card pool because of its ability to search a Sea Serpent, so you can find Deep Sea Diva or Air Orca or anything else you might need. And then his tournament deck, as I said, is Princess Plants. You combo using plant tools to build a big resilient board state for quick kills. Then we're going to Phaedron's information. Now, Phaedron has been a long-time split format player. He's even played in our previous iterations. This is the 2025-2026 version of split format. We've had 3 or 4 iterations of split format previously, ever since 2020, and he's been a long-time player. So it's really cool that he's still sticking around and playing even in the new versions. So his past achievements are he got 2nd place in the other Powerpalooza tournament using Jar Turtle Kashtiras, and that might sound scary, but what's funny is the Kashtira card pool literally just has Kashtira Fenrir and not a single other card in it. So you basically just get the generic card pool and 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir, and he was still able to get 2nd place with that. And then he also got top 4 in Split Standard 4 with Hulk Flip, which is a card pool he added to the format himself, completely designed itself, and it is actually completely designed it by himself, and it's actually a very competent pool now, and J-Bob did pretty well with it in this tournament. And then his playstyle, he tries to gain advantage while cutting off access to the opponent's resources, very much a Shellshock thing, and prioritizes future turns over maximizing quick damage. So this Shellshock deck is right up his alley. It accrues value by using Volcanic Shell and Thunderhand as discard fodder, a very passive deck that tries to grind out your opponent's resources and then eventually ping them for 1600 enough to win. And his favorite card in the entire game is number C9 Chaos Dyson Sphere, and his favorite card in split format is Crystron Halqifibrix, the centerpiece of the Hulk Flip deck that he invented. Alright, now let's get into the gameplay. Galetta is going to start us off, going first. He is playing the Princess Plant pool again. He is going to, looks like, start with his Mathematician probably, sending a Dandelion. Yeah, this gives 2 easy tokens, letting you go for Link monsters, which is really just the Dance Peon now since Jasmine got banned. Dance Peon lets you call, you're going to call 3, excavate that many cards in the top of your deck, and if you do, special summon up to 2 excavated plant monsters, but you cannot Link summon using them. And he's going to whiff, so he milled 2 Junk Forwards, which is a level 3 Earth that you can use to make the Melier Xyz monster and a Bottomless Trap Hole. So he did not get any plants off of that, very unfortunate. And then what it also does is you can change the levels of the monsters it points to the level of a plant in your graveyard to facilitate Xyz summons. And then he's going to set a Bottomless Trap Hole and pass. Phaedron's going to go for an Ice Hand. Brutal here since you can't Bottomless Trap Hole the Ice Hand. So it's going to pop the back row, go for a Fire Hand, and then swing over this Link monster. And then Phaedron's going to set 3 back row and pass, including that Matica Punishment, definitely the strongest back row Shellshock has access to. And Fiendish Chain is going to go crazy with this Magic Planter in his hand. We're going to... Fiendish Chain Lone Fire Blossom, which does not work. Yeah, Fiendish only negates it while it's face up on the field. Feedrin said, yeah, that's on me. It does work very similar to Skill Drain. Okay, so Lone Fire is going to go for Rose Princess. This is basically a Cyber Dragon for plants, and it also counts as a tuner when used that way, and as an Earth Monster for Melier. And then this, because the Lone Fire was sent to the graveyard, you can special summon Rose Girl on the next chain. And this can also be just straight up added back to the hand every turn. But you can only use one or the other effect each turn. So that's really cool. Feedrin's going to prevent... I don't know. I'm confused. Oh, okay. Here's why he didn't wait for the Ixie summon. He's punishment to send Blazing Bombardment Beast, which also gets an effect to destroy another monster with 1900 or less attack when it's sent. So a classic 2-for-1. That's going to destroy the Mathematician, not letting him draw because it was not destroyed by battle. And that is going to end Goletta's turn. Then we're going to see the Magic Planter send that Fiendish Chain to the graveyard to draw 2 cards, and we draw that Redeemable Jar to get back our traps. And now we're hitting face for these 2 fire hands. And Feedrin even has a Thunder Hand in hand for once one of these fire hands dies. We're going to see Crane try to bring something out, but it's probably going to get stopped by back row. Yeah, Feedrin still has a Dino Mishes ready to banish whatever Ixie's Goletta goes for. Going to go for a Bryanak, and on summon we're going to see the Diamishes. And Goletta's going to forfeit there. That was just brutal. Back row after back row after back row. And those fire hands were going to kill him very quickly. Goletta chooses to go first again. We're going to see this Lone Fire, send another Lone Fire, and then another one to go for the Dandelion. Just fill in the grave and thinning the deck. Then because the Lone Fire went to the graveyard, we can special summon the Rose Girl. Go for Melier. This Ixie's monster is very, very strong. 2 Earth, level 3s. You can send a plant from the deck to the graveyard or revive a plant in face-up defense position. So we're going to detach the Dandelion to revive that Lone Fire Blossom. It doesn't even negate the effect. You can just keep doing stuff. Dandelion's going to give us 2 tokens to link summon with, and Lone Fire is going to tag out for Cherubime. Your opponent cannot attack plants except this one with 2800 defense. And if this is sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card for any reason, you can special summon any plant from your deck. So it's going to accept itself. So it'll be another princess, most likely. And then this Lone Fire did not activate again. I'm very confused why we didn't see that Lone Fire tag out for another big princess. Now this time it was Fire Hand, not an Ice Hand starting Feedrin off. So that will get hit by the Bottomless, thankfully. Fire Hand cannot dodge Bottomless. Then we're going to see Feedrin do that Graceful Charity Volcanic Shell combo. Get some card advantage. And he has a hand full of traps. No monsters. Except this Volcanic Shell, which doesn't really count. And he does have a powerful Rebirth, which is dead right now since that Fire Hand got banished. And Rebirth only takes it out of the graveyard. I'm going to say a Divine Wrath, a Redeemable Jar, and another Divine Wrath. Thankfully, those Volcanic Shells will help pay for the Divine Wrath costs. So now Lone Fire is going to activate. I'm confused why it didn't activate previously. It's very confusing. But that is going to hit by a Divine Wrath. Melier is simply going to revive it, which will also get hit by a Divine Wrath. And now Feedrin is almost out of cards. Since there's a plant on the field, Rose Girl can just bring herself back to get used next turn. Feedrin does have this Redeemable Jar that can get back some traps. But the only one right now useful is Divine Wrath, which will take another card out of his hand. And he's simply going to swing in for 800, not wanting to swing this Cherubime into a Dimensional Prison, I'm assuming. Feedrin is going to activate Redeemable Jar in the end phase to give that powerful Rebirth. Top deck's an Ice Hand, which cannot float right now because Goletta controls no spells and traps. We're going to use Volcanic Shell to get the 3rd copy to our hand, paying for that Divine Wrath if we ever bring it back. And then normal summon this Ice Hand. He said I forgot. I'm not sure what he... Oh yes, Ice King cannot attack Rose Girl because Cherubime is still out. That is the only plant that's allowed to be attacked. And then we're going to Redeemable Jar back a Divine Wrath. We have the Volcanic Shell able to use for it. And then the other set was that powerful Rebirth. Looks like we drew a Mathematician for turn. It's a play starter for sure. We're going to special summon junk forward. Or no, just normal summon it. It's only special summonable if we have no monsters. Then we're going to Synchro 7. Interesting. Perialis, Empress of Blossoms. 400 attack for each plant you control except this one, so it's a 2000 right now. And during the main phase, you can special summon level 5 or higher plant, so a princess, from your hand or graveyard in defense position. So that can bring out this Titanial in hand. And then no, we did not use a Dandelion. So he's going to attempt to activate this, which does get stopped by Divine Wrath. Then, because Rose Girl is in the graveyard and there's a plant on the field, we can simply bring it back again. And then there are no back rows for Ice Hand to pop, so we can just freely attack over it. And Avarice is not quite live because there are only 4 monsters in the graveyard right now. Redeemable Jar is also running out of traps to recycle. So Goletta's going to pass there. And then Phaedron top decks a Thunderhand, which is honestly an extremely good top deck. Because now this Ice Hand can die, letting the Thunderhand activate. So Phaedron's going to crash. Goletta lets it go through. He has no choice. And then Thunderhand will come down and try to destroy this Cherubime, which will get to special summon a plant after it dies. And we're going to go for this Toaya. Other plant monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects. So that's really useful against Firehand. And Divine Wrath, I guess. Yeah, Divine Wrath can negate the effects, but it won't be able to destroy the card while this is out. So that's actually really, really cool. Redeemable Jar is going to activate, bringing back the Powerful Rebirth to try to get that Ice Hand back. This Thunderhand will get banished when it leaves the field. And Goletta should know that this is the Powerful Rebirth, since he just saw it go back to hand. This Thunderhand also will get banished, meaning it won't be a 5th monster for Pot of Avarice. So Phaedron still has a dead Pot of Avarice in hand. We're going to see Mathematician come down. Phaedron has no interruption right now because he chose to get back the Powerful Rebirth instead of the Divine Wrath. So that's going to send a Dandelion, giving us 2 tokens, which we can then link summon with for Dance Peony. This will excavate 3 cards. Again, a whiff, really unfortunate for Goletta. This now has plus... each plant... Okay, it counts itself. So it starts at 29. Now it has 3,000 because of the link monster. We're going to swing over that Thunderhand and banish, and then swing in for 2,700 more. Ice Hand's going to come out, but again, there is nothing for it to pop. Okay, so Goletta wasted his attack with the 1,200. He should have sunk with Mathematician first, that way he could get a replay and attack over the Ice Hand. But Math will still draw because it crashed. Due to the plus 100 attack from Powerful Rebirth. That's so weird. Plus 100 attack, what a negligible amount. Here it kind of mattered though. Phaedron is simply going to draw and set a Fiendish Chain and pass. He is really running low on resources. Does not have a 5th monster for Pot of Avarice. And Goletta's just going crazy. The Mathematician will resolve, sending a Rose Girl. Interesting. And then we just swing for game. Fiendish Chain on the Toaya. Oh, Goletta has a disappear face down. That's cool. This is also nice against the hands because you can chain it to Ice Hand doing stuff. That way it won't be there when Ice Hand gets destroyed. Chainables are really nice against the hands. Rose Girl is going to return herself to the hand because there's a plant on the field. Phaedron draws Dark Hole. Will it be enough to save him? A plant was sent to the graveyard so Rose Girl can summon itself. And that Redeemable Jar looks like it will be getting back the Powerful Rebirth. Probably hoping to use that Ice Hand, but again, this is chainable. So he can actually just chain it to the Powerful Rebirth target to fizzle it. Gonna Twin Twisters both back row. And Phaedron admits defeat because that will be just swinging for game. And here we go into game 3. Phaedron is going first. Ooh, he has a Magic Planter with no traps for it. Or no continuous traps. And a Smashing Ground, which is really cool because it gets around Titanial's targeting protection. So, I wonder if Phaedron was maining that or sided it in. I cannot remember. Looks like Goletta is discarding Rose Princess to search White Rose Cloister, which is a field spell. If you control no monsters, you can special summon a Rose Dragon or plant from your hand every turn. That's a really good way to cheat out your level 8 princesses. And during the draw phase, you can declare the top card of your deck's type, and if you declare it correctly, your level 7 or higher synchro monsters gain 1,000 attack for the rest of the turn. I don't think that's going to come up in Goletta's deck. Looks like this is probably just here to summon level 8 plants for free. Ooh, okay, we're going to normal summon Rose Girl and then see a Ready Fusion. This is interesting. So that does give us another level 3 Earth monster for Melier. Pretty cool extender. And then Melier, again, can either revive a plant or send a plant from the deck to the graveyard. So we're going to send Dandelion to get 2 tokens. And then Link for the Dance Peony. So you see the kind of combo plays we can do in this deck. Of course, nothing compared to TCG. But for split format standards, this is a pretty intricate combo. Rose Girl's going to bring herself back. Looks like Dance Peony summoned another one from the excavated cards. And then Goletta is going to set a Book of Moon. Pretty good interaction. Not necessarily good against hands. But it is a chainable. Unfortunately, Ice Hand will still be able to pop this field spell even if we change the Book of Moon. Ooh, but Ice Hand does target, and Titanial prevents any effect that targets any card, not just plant monsters. So even when Ice Hand targets the field spell or the back row, Titanial can negate the activation, and because it negates activations, it can be used in the damage step. We're going to see a Graceful Charity draw some traps. There's a Fiendish Chain for the Magic Planter. Feedron says they had to think really hard about the second card to discard. And then we're going to see them do the classic set 4 back row and pass, but I don't think it will be enough to deal with this board. Draw phase, we're going to try to Fiendish Chain, but Titanial is going to negate that. And then Dance Peon's also activating? Or maybe that's just who he's tributing. Okay, yeah. Camellia stops only things that target. Or does he mean Titanial? Okay. Anyway, Melee is going to activate. That's going to get hit by a Solemn Warning. I guess you would have to say which effect you're activating, and then this could only be solemned if you chose the revive effect. Which I don't know if that's what Feedron was intending, or if that's what Goletta was intending or not. Reviving the Dance Peony is still good because it doesn't have to summon to zones it points to. So even if you revive it to a main monster zone, you can still use this effect to activate something and special summon to a zone next to it. And yeah, this is really cool. Like I was saying about the Divine Wrath, similar for this, even though we negated the activation of the effect, it does not destroy the Melee because Talaya prevents other plants from being destroyed by card effects. So we're getting value out of that protection effect. Rose Girl is going to bring itself back in normal summon. Then we're going to link for another Dance Peony. See if we can excavate a big old plant. Mathematician, Twin, and Cosmic. So a whole lot of lifts on Dance Peony. I think we're only 1 for 4 at this point. And that Magic Planter is the last spell and trap left set after this Punishment comes out. Punishment does not target. Oh, it does target. Oh, snap. So yeah, Titanial can just tribute something to negate and destroy that. Does it send for cost? Does not send for cost. And then Feedron is out of stuff, and that is going to be GG's from Goletta. So you see these big boards, not necessarily unbreakable, but very, very quite strong. It would take a lot to break this board because you can't target or destroy stuff. Or you can target stuff, but you got to do it a lot because the first few will get negated. So you really saw the power that Princess Plants have access to here. I hope you enjoyed that game, and I will be back very soon for a round 2 feature match. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.